What is going on? Welcome to episode 113 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, on this different NPC. My player 2 and co-host this time is none other than N64Jen. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Are you ready? Are you excited to talk Nintendo tonight?
Yes.
Okay. So we don't have a ton of Nintendo news to talk about, and because we're on vacation, we're doing something a little bit different. So I hope that's cool with you guys. I still wanted to get content out so that it wasn't just a like a ghost town on iTunes and all that. And we are doing this live on Twitch. This is all via hotspot. Like we are in the wilderness. And we're having fun. We've been playing some games. We've been swimming, doing that kind of stuff. But I wanted to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit and introduce you guys to my wife and get to know some of her history with Nintendo. So do check out N64Josh.com. I am still updating that site with news and that kind of stuff. So there's still Nintendo news going up there if you want to stay in the know. But even that, I'm slacking a little bit because I'm on vacation. So it's all good. Before we get started, you want to get yourself a chair, a gaming chair from OPC. Go to n64josh.com/OPC. That link will automatically save you $10. And you'll help support this show. All their chairs right now are $50 off, so don't miss the sale. And, of course, we got Audible. You can go to audibletrial.com/NPC. Get yourself a free book. If you're interested in writing, like I've been doing a ton lately, I've been listening to a book called Bird by Bird. So check that out. Of course, Console Wars, if you just want to hear gaming history, that kind of stuff, it's really good. Blood, Sweat, and Pixels is another one I recommend also. So audibletrial.com/NPC. Okay, so we're still on vacation. But we're going to get to know you a little bit. So you cut your teeth with the NES, correct?
Yes.
What were some of the first games you remember playing on the Nintendo Entertainment System? Actually, do you remember where you got it? Like, was it a Christmas morning kind of thing, or do you recall?
If it was for my dad, not for us. I don't remember exactly getting it, no. I just remember playing it. The first game, of course, is Mario and Duck Hunt. But I think it was my dad's because my sister and I had to fight him for it. We didn't get a turn. So when Dad went to work, we got to play Nintendo.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So what were some of your favorite games back on that system?
So right away, other than like Duck Hunt, I played for hours, more than Mario. And then was Zelda. I would get my map out, and I had most of it memorized, but it's still fun to look at the map. And then that hidden code off to the far side, I had all those memorized. You know, you had to go up, over.
Okay. You taught me this.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't play Zelda as a kid because it was too slow.
Zelda was one of
magic.
my favorites.
So my mom would let me.
Oh, you weren't allowed to play it?
No, I wasn't allowed to play it because it had magic in it.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
Okay.
It's sad.
Yeah, no. So that was the very beginning was probably Zelda. I played the most, and from there was I got good at Tetris. Tetris was fun.
So I'm trying to remember. When we first got married, you would play Tetris Attack, right?
So Tetris Attack, I didn't play that as a kid. I played that when we were dating, I believe.
Did you have
with Charlotte?
Did you have Tetris at home?
No. Okay, so I never owned Tetris, and so there was a few games that I never even owned, and so Tetris is one, Mario 3 was one, and Excite Bike. And so anytime we'd go to anybody's house that had those, like I probably was the worst friend because I would ignore them and I'd hog their Nintendo the whole time, and that's all I would do when we'd go to those people's houses. So, because I never had them at home. And then I did have a friend loan me Tetris and Mario 2 because I never owned Mario 2 either. And so I played through that one. But yeah, so I had Pro-Am Racing was one I played.
RC Pro-Am, yeah.
Yeah, that one. I love that one.
And you were just telling me a story about that, about how you would get called to dinner and you were like, I need to
so
finish spelling
because,
Nintendo?
Yeah, every time you win, you get a letter and you have to spell Nintendo. And it would kill me. Like, my mom, dinner's ready, come on, you know. Like, wait a minute, I still need a D and an O. Or whatever. And so, yeah, that was... Oh, that and Rad Racer was another one I'd play forever.
Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune.
Nerd.
And I know. But then I also liked, was it Top Gun and Stealth?
Yep.
And there's still one more. I don't know if I remember what it was. It was one of my favorites.
I don't know, like Captain
It's a
Skyhawk.
tank or something.
Oh, yeah, there was a tank game.
I don't know.
I think we found it. I don't remember if we ended up purchasing it or not. It may be in our collection. We're not home right now, so I can't go look.
Or I would.
Yeah. Yeah, so chat right now, I do want to point out, Hate Zero's in here. He says, what's up? It's Jill. So on yesterday's stream, somebody was like, hey, isn't N64 Jill? Like, meaning to say Jen. Snake Eyes. Thanks, buddy. And so then we kind of had this, we have this thing going now. N64 Jill actually joined the Discord for a little bit, and then she changed her name to Jen. So
Not Jill.
not Jill. Not Jill. So, okay, I want to get back to Tetris a little bit, though, because I remember you being freakishly good at it. Was it only on... I feel like there was a time that I could watch you play it on the TV, but I know that you had it on Game Boy and DS and things like that. Like, do you recall playing it at home?
Before Tetris Attack?
Well, no, not necessarily. Maybe.
I know that, I'm pretty sure it was your aunt that got me into Tetris Attack.
Yeah.
And so for Christmas, like our first or second Christmas being married, you bought me my very first Super Nintendo and Tetris Attack.
That's right. And that was the first time you played Super Nintendo, right?
I'd played it at a friend's house, but we never owned one.
Okay.
I'd played Mario Kart at someone's house on the Super Nintendo, but otherwise that was it.
So mind you, this is like 2001 or
yeah,
2000?
Probably 2000 or...
And they still had Super Nintendos available at Toys R Us. So
well, and the funny thing is, this is like dating us. Is the game that you got was a used cartridge from the video store in our grocery store. They were selling it.
Yeah, it still has the stickers. It says Thrifty Foods on it. So yeah, but that was like my mission that Christmas was to find her the Super Nintendo and Tetris Attack.
Yeah.
And we still have it.
Yeah.
We still have
well,
that
and
Super
so
Nintendo.
didn't Tetris, oh shoot, didn't it come out with
There's
the
like
Xbox?
you know what?
It
there
did?
was a when I got I don't think it was the Xbox I purchased, but there was for a while an Xbox that came out with Clone Wars and Tetris.
Yeah.
It was like a disc that had both discs in the case. I don't know. For some reason, I remember you playing, like you would set it to like level like 10 and then...
Yeah, so that was my thing is I hated this. I'd always start at the beginning and let it go as far as I can, but then I would get bored. So yeah, I'd start at like 10 and I could make it up into the 20s.
They're mocking me in chat saying I don't know how to use sunscreen and that I'm glowing like a vampire from Twilight. Yes, this is true. So, okay, well, let's backtrack a little bit. We got ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
You did play some Super Nintendo. Do you remember any particular games on that, or do you want to jump to the 64?
I only played Mario Kart at my friend's house. Her brother had it, and again, I would hog his Nintendo and we'd play Mario Kart.
The dog is now in the stream.
Say hi, Lizzie.
So
N64 Lizzie.
Yeah. We're just doing this live, guys. We're on vacation. So bear with us. There's literally a dog on our laps now that's on the stream. So, hi there, Liz. Yep. Okay, so then 64.
Yes.
So I'm excited to hear your perspective, your version of this, because my memory is a little bit foggy. But do you remember buying that with me?
No, I think you bought it, and I remember you telling me about it and showing it to me. I don't think I was with you when you bought it.
Okay, because I remember going to Fred Meyer. I remember working, driving up there myself, picking it up. But you remember me just telling you, hey, I got because I know I got Mario Kart.
I thought you kind of wanted to surprise me with it because it was for us to
play
while we were dating.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So We played a lot of Mario Kart.
Yeah, I was probably better than you. Okay, sorry, I won't say that live. He always beat me. I never let him win. Yeah, we played it a lot.
We played a lot. She never got that good, but she would
I
try.
did though. I was good.
So I would always have to hear, anytime she won, she would play as Toad, and I'd always have to hear,
I'm the best.
oh my gosh, all the time. Like I'd hear we had some pretty fierce competition going. It was good. But then there was also GoldenEye.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
GoldenEye is the best.
Let's talk
Here's
about
dog number 2.
Yeah, there's
N64 Sophie.
There's Sophie in the stream now. So
Okay, so GoldenEye. Oh, I love GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually heard something the other day. The music like totally took me back. Yeah, we spent a lot of time with that, and I was good at that.
Yeah.
I was, and I played it. I even played single player through.
Oh, you beat that game?
Yes.
Oh,
see?
Wow, I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool.
I did.
That's pretty cool.
I love that game.
What would you always yell at me when we would play that game in multiplayer?
When you were perching?
Yeah, that's what she would say. She would say I was perching. I would.
Oh my gosh! In the library, he's always up at the top, and it didn't matter. I would spawn, and I was dead, and I didn't even have a chance to get a gun. So I don't think that. I think that's like most dishonorable right there. And then at the end of the round, when it would tell you like what your stats or
most
whatever,
frantic, most
mine was
dishonorable.
always like the shortest lifespan, and yours was dishonorable or whatever. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
They're saying I probably didn't beat GoldenEye. That is where you're incorrect, because I didn't have a ton of games back then, so I would play through everything I had. Although we had a good collection. We
did.
We had a good collection. We Turok was another one we would play.
Perfect Dark.
Oh yeah.
And I played through that one too.
All the way through?
Well, I don't know. I just remember playing with Elvis. Remember Elvis?
Yeah, he was the alien near the end of the game.
Yeah, and
Spoilers.
I remember. Yeah, no, I love that. I played that through. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's cool. That must have been while I was at work after we were like newly married, maybe.
It could have been.
Yeah,
Could have been.
Huh. Interesting. That's awesome to hear. So. You guys have heard some of these 64 stories before. Like, if you've listened to the podcast for any length of time, you've heard me talk so fondly about the 64. I mean, the whole reason we have our names, that's N64Josh and N64Jen, the initial website we started like 5, like, I don't know, a long time ago, I was like, you know what, we're just going to go with N64Josh and Jen for Twitter because that was just going to be easy. And it was something that we, was part of our past. Mm-hmm. Diddy Kong Racing, was a good one.
Yeah.
Here's a fun memory that she's gonna. You'll watch her light up here. When I say the words 1080 snowboarding, what do you think about?
When I beat you on that jump.
Yeah, she said. If you guys remember 1080 snowboarding, there's a part where you just jump. You go down. It's just a long jump, and you're trying to get as many tricks as you can.
Score, yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to get as many tricks as you can to get the highest score. Maybe pull off a 1080 or whatever. And I go to the bathroom.
So he'd been trying, getting frustrated, not able to do it. Gets up to go to the bathroom. I'm like, well, I'm gonna try. What happens? I do it the first time.
She beats my score, and I can't beat it. If I still had that save file, I'm fairly certain that she still holds the high score for that trick mode or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, those were fun times. We did that. We were in Walla Walla, Washington, staying with my aunt and uncle at the time.
18th birthday.
18th birthday. Here's kind of a weird thing. This has nothing to do with video games. It's a little sidetrack, but you guys will dig this. My aunt, knowing that we're going to be getting married when we're 18, puts on her wedding video. Okay, so we're watching my aunt's wedding video that took place in like the early 90s. And all of a sudden the camera pans over to this couple singing. And it ends up being my wife's aunt and uncle singing at my aunt and uncle's wedding. And we had
It was so weird for me.
We had no clue that they knew each
weird.
other, anything like that. Like, super crazy. Just very, very, very small world. And so, yeah. But I think another fun 64 memory is Zelda. Ocarina of Time, do you guys see the look? If you guys are just listening to the show, like, if looks could kill, my friends, that's the look I'm getting right now. A lot of you guys know this story too, but let's hear it from your perspective. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go hide right now. Mm-hmm. And hide the knives.
So I was really proud of myself because this game's coming out and you had to reserve it ahead of time and you could reserve the gold cart. And I don't know how old we weren't married, so I was like 16 or 17. What?
Can we fast forward to Jen being better than most people at stupid Crimson Skies?
Crimson Skies. Oh, love that game.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, I love that game. So anyway, so I was so proud of myself because I don't know, I had saved up enough babysitting money or whatever, got a ride to the mall, reserved the copy of the game for him without him knowing. And so, and then in my room, I had all my receipts from Christmas shopping, like, hidden, I thought. So come to find out, he actually saw the stack of receipts hidden, I thought, in my room. And instead of thinking, hey, it's Christmas, maybe I shouldn't look at those, thought, hey, I'm going to look at those and see if she got me that game because I really want to get it reserved if she didn't. So, come Christmas.
Hey, she got the gold cart. And it was a very happy Christmas. I was very excited. I found out that day.
Excited, just not surprised.
I was, well, you know.
Yeah, anyway.
If I remember correctly, I wasn't like looking for receipts. My hand brushed some papers under the bed and I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, wow, that's a receipt. So, you know. It just happened to be the link, you know.
Had I known you'd seen it, I wouldn't have given it to you. So it's probably a good thing.
I know you wouldn't have. I was like, okay, mum's the word. So, Kirby Geek says all this for Josh. Hates like Josh is a giant kid.
Totally.
They're saying that I'm your oldest child.
I say that too. I have 5 kids.
He probably still opens his presents and rewraps them. I usually guess what they are. She's glaring at me again if you're just listening.
Did you know about your Father's Day gift this year?
No.
Lying?
Nope. Being perfectly honest. I honestly, every time we get to a holiday or whatever, I try to like zone out and not think about what anything could be so that I don't, like I have to force myself to not guess. And it's been working the past few,
okay.
Yeah. And if you guys are wondering, she got me the Link, the Zelda 2DS with the Hylian shield on it, which was super cool. Super cool. So, okay. Diddy Kong Racing is another one we played quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. So we had a handful of games we played dating.
Yeah.
Like Turok. And so we'd play with my dad and sister a lot.
Yep.
Even to the point where we were moving and my dad was supposed to be helping my mom pack and instead he's upstairs in our room playing Nintendo with us, the 64. Yeah. And he would hide in my closet and when he'd have the controller stretched all the way and then when my mom would come looking for him, we'd close the door and be like, yep, I don't know where he is.
Yeah, we're literally playing Turok 2 and killing each other with cerebral bores. And her mom would stomp in, I can't find your dad. The closet door would just shut. Then reopen after she,
that's awesome. So. But yeah, dating.
A lot of good games. Yeah. A ton of good games. And then
because I think Perfect Dark was after we got married.
It was. Perfect Dark was after we got married. We lived in this tiny little house right on the river, and I was into, big surprise, collecting different colored 64s. So I had the gray one. I think I traded it in or something. I don't remember what I did with it. And then the Donkey Kong one came out. Mm-hmm. It came with the expansion pack. And, I think we sold the gray one to Ken and Shar. Possibly. My aunt and uncle.
Maybe.
And so, although I don't remember entirely. But so then I had the green one with Donkey Kong, right? And do you remember how I played through Donkey Kong? I've told this on here before, but do you remember?
In the early stages of my pregnancy, and I slept on you the whole time.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. She would just completely zonk out on Sunday afternoon. I only had one day off a week, and she would zonk out, and I'd play and I've said this before, but I didn't realize how much people hated that game. It was just this is the new game I have right now. And we were newly married and did not have a lot of money. So it was like, this is what I'm playing through. And I played all the way through that game. And, you know, it was fun. But then shortly after that, you got me the GameCube. And it's one of my favorite, for me, it's probably one of the best memories with Nintendo getting a console. And so I've told the story plenty on here, but I want to hear it from your, just kind of your side of it. You're like, was there a lot of sneaking around and yeah.
Well, so I'm trying to think. I don't even know how I did this all behind your back, because it's not like I had a phone I could text.
We had no cell phones back then. That's how long ago this was, right? Like, we had a cell phone, but there wasn't even, if there was texting, it was just like, I think you had to do it on a special Motorola device. I don't think it was even on phones yet.
No, I don't know. So I know, well, and so the Xbox was coming out the same year, right?
Yes.
And so that was the toss-up. I'm like, okay, which one's he gonna want? Because I knew I couldn't get both. So, obviously the GameCube wins. And so we had a friend who worked at a Game Crazy.
Rest in peace.
Which was part of what, Hollywood Video, is that what it was called?
Yep.
That's so funny. And I guess, I don't know, somehow I had him... Did I have him reserve it for me? I don't remember all the details, but I remember I was working in a coffee shop and just saved all of my tips. Even that, I don't know how I did it without you knowing, because, like, hey, don't you get tips? Maybe you thought I was a horrible barista. My wife sucks, no tips. So anyway, I was able to set enough money aside, though, and have our friend help get the system. And because I think he purchased it for me and everything and gave it to me after I gave him the money. And then coordinated with friends and family to get him controllers and games and whatnot to go with it. So he had a whole package deal by the end of Christmas.
Yeah, and it was a crazy Christmas, because I think that same year our son was not even 1 yet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were...
Not yet.
Not pregnant?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't remember. No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Anyway, we bounced around all different. We probably went to 6 different houses that Christmas. Mm-hmm. There was controllers at some. There was different games. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And then we drove like 2.5 hours south to go visit my aunt and uncle, who you guys have heard me talk about before. He's got me into gaming, took me to the arcades, that kind of stuff. I'm wearing my Optimus Prime riding Grimlock right now shirt. He took me to the Transformers movie, all that kind of stuff. And so we went down there to go play these new games for the first time, and so it was just awesome, firing up Rogue Leader, that kind of stuff, and hanging out. But then we went and visited them again after another game came out, and this is a game that kind of changed gaming through like our entire household. Mm-hmm. Just a little game known as Animal Crossing. Mm. Yeah, so I want to hear just your, like, what do you remember about the first Animal Crossing? And
I was addicted. It was so much fun. I don't know. Because there was mini games in that one, I feel like.
There was NES games.
Yeah, but then wasn't there certain things you would do, like rolling the snowballs and like in the igloos, like you'd go in the igloos and there was always like somebody cooking a big pot of soup or something. And I feel, anyways, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's been a long time since I played that very first one, but it had me hooked big time.
Game Boy Island.
Oh yeah, so that was fun.
Taking the Game Boy Advance and
Yep.
Game Boy. I think Tortimer was he driving the ship back then? I can't even remember.
Well, it would have been Captain, wouldn't it?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. Remember, I need to play it again, I guess. But
it
had me hooked though.
The last time I fired it up, all the animals thought I was in jail.
Oh my gosh,
they were
like,
so
funny.
"Have you been in prison? Is that where you've been?"
It It was pretty funny. It was because of that game that our son's first word was Nintendo, because you turn it on and you'd hear the little Nintendo, and then the music would start playing. And but anyway, so yeah, that was his first word because he heard me play it all the time.
Well, and so we told my aunt and uncle about this game, and they're like, "This sounds so stupid.
Right.
This sounds so dumb." We go down there to their place.
Oh my gosh.
Fire it
so
up.
Funny.
Like, we start playing. We look, it's like 4 a.m. And my uncle's like, "We got to get more fruit. Like, we need more fruit. We got to get, let's get some more fish. What do we, like, how are we going to pay this loan down?" You know, like, completely hooked.
Yeah.
So hooked, in fact.
Oh my gosh.
That, and again, I've told this before, but they bought their kids a GameCube like the following year, or that year maybe.
Yeah.
And they bought them Animal Crossing, and they bought it early, and they would set up a TV and the GameCube in their room and play it during the month of November and December.
After their kids went to bed.
And then, you know, once Christmas finally came, then they could finally just play it normally. But, like, they were so hooked.
We were also into it. We even contemplated one time showing up to visit them, like one of us carrying a net and the other us having a shovel and wearing like a funny plaid shirt or something. Like we were, we were really geeking out.
We really were. My uncle took the time to put my face into the game, which I'll show you guys on stream sometime. I've shown it before, but yeah, so like there's animals walking around my town in that first game that have my face on their shirts or their hats, or my house has a flag waving that has my face on it.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I'd played a lot of like Resident Evil on that system. She would laugh at me as I would get freaked out by scary games typically. The Xbox did come out at that point. Mm-hmm. We had to move. There was we almost got flooded, so we moved to a new place. Shortly after I got an Xbox. Shortly after that, we got Crimson Skies, and that is when, like, I don't know if you guys have seen the episode of Big Bang Theory where Penny starts gaming and there's like Cheeto dust on her face, and like she stops showering, like. That was her with Crimson Skies. Like, I had to...
It was so bad.
Like, she was like, "I don't want to do split screen." I'm like, "So either I don't get to play," and then she was okay with that. Yeah. She just totally shook her head yes. Or I had to get another TV. So I had to go buy another Xbox, another TV. We set up 2 little Sony TVs next to each other, and we would play online Crimson Skies for hours and hours. I would go to bed.
He'd go to bed. I stayed up till like 4 a.m. All of a sudden, I'm like, crap, he's going to get up soon. I got to go to bed. And I've got 2 little kids at the time. So I was like horrible, like, mom. Like, they wake me up. I'm like, oh, go get Cheerios. I've been up. I just went to bed like 2 hours ago.
Still with Cheeto dust on her face. Right?
Oh, I was, yeah.
Trinity 1X. There it is.
Oh.
He remembers.
He would remember.
He remembers getting owned by you regularly.
Do you? Yes. Oh, that's awesome. I forgot. Okay. So, I mean, so when the very first time that when I first started playing, I don't know if it's the very first time, but before I was good, because I actually was really good. I had the headset on and the mic, and he actually played for me.
Oh, okay, wait. Okay, I go to bed. All right. Our bedroom is right past the living room. We were living in a mobile home at the time. I can tell that there's guys flirting with her on the microphone. And I'm like, oh, I'm not having this. I walked out. I'm like, give me your controller. And I can tell that they're like, oh, we can teach you how to do. I literally just smoked them so hard. Like, they were like, maybe you could teach us by the time the round was over. Because I just absolutely mopped the floor with them. And then I think one of them was named Scuba Steve, if I remember correct. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, that was a pretty funny story.
Yeah.
But she went on to like play that game. It got to be. I mean, there were rounds that she would beat me. But do you remember the one funny thing we would always do to people? Because we would have the giant star. Like we were the highest rank.
Yes.
We were the highest rank. And there were always people that would come in and right into the voice chat like, hey, how do I get that rank? Mm-hmm. And I would tell them, listen, as fast as you can, hit B up A. If you do it fast enough, you are going to get the star. You just got to do it really fast, and you'd watch half the lobby leave. Like they would all exit out because B would say, "Do you want to quit?" And then up was yes, and then A
confirmed.
was confirmed, and the room would just empty out.
Great.
It would just empty out. So, but yeah, she would play and play and play and play. And like every time that there's a Microsoft conference now at E3, we're like, Crimson Skies, Crimson Skies. All she needs in her life is Crimson Skies and Animal Crossing, and
Yes, I'd be happy.
she is a happy girl. So, Hate Zero says, and Neo 1X got me with this too.
That's great.
BFA, I hate my life 04 BFA.
Funny.
So okay, I can't believe we're already at a half hour. So we'll wrap this up shortly, but you obviously got super hooked on Animal Crossing.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about like Tetris Attack. She was wicked good at it.
Still am.
Still are. The DS really kind of changed things, I feel like, because like it was like we decided, more like I decided, if we're going to be honest here. Hey, let's move to California because there's a sweet new job there, and take her away from all of our family. And MJ's asking, does she still play New Leaf? Yeah, she was playing this morning or yesterday morning.
So would you believe that this game is like 100 years old and I still don't have all my bugs? I'm missing like 2 or 3, and one of them's the scorpion, and it bit me last night, and I didn't catch it. So sorry.
She might have said a swear, possibly.
Well, it actually scared me because I'm like, what the heck just happened? Anyway, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
So we moved to California, and Animal Crossing Wild World comes out. Yes. And we get it for you, and we get it for my aunt, who you guys were super close. Mm-hmm. And I would collect achievements on the Xbox 360, and she would play Wild World.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Man, I was a horrible mom.
No, you weren't. The kids were in bed typically.
Yeah, that's true. They'd go to bed and I'd stay up and play.
We just would ignore each other. We would just be like, "Hey, I'm going to play Xbox. Cool, I'm going to play DS." And like
that's true.
But
I'd play with your aunt, and it was fun.
Oh yeah, you could just lose yourself. It was like giving you a little taste of home almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Hate Zero saying they moved near Demonic Jawa, which was a friend that we. So I met I Hate My Life 04 on Xbox playing Rainbow Six. We had another friend that we met in that same time period, Demonic Jawa, Nick, and he actually lived in the Bay Area. When we interviewed for the job down there, like his mom was like, "You're not going to meet a serial killer, right?" And I'm like, no, they're not. Am I meeting serial killers?
I was kind of freaked out.
It's like,
I'm like 7 months pregnant or something. We're like meeting up with some strangers in the Bay Area.
From the internet, yeah. So it was interesting. But so she played a ton of that.
I don't like the scorpion either.
Yeah, MJ saying I don't like the scorpion. But then, I mean, the handheld Animal Crossing was huge because we ended up getting a Wii, but you really didn't play much of. We mostly played like Wii Sports. The Wii was typically we would play together, and I don't feel like you played that system a whole lot by yourself.
No, the most, the games I played during that time period was Animal Crossing, and then I got into Viva Pinata on the Xbox.
And the Xbox, yeah, that's right. So you were playing that, and that which also came out on DS, and you played that for a little while too. Yeah. So, but then once the 3DS finally launched and New Leaf came out, that was kind of fun. Do you remember that? How you got that DS and everything?
Oh. Yeah, the one I have now?
The one you're using now?
Yeah. Well, did you... I don't know.
You don't know?
Remind me.
I thought it was a Mother's Day gift as it was a surprise.
I think so.
It obviously wasn't that important.
It was important. I just don't remember.
Like I'm almost in tears talking about when she got me GameCube because it was like one of the most like treasured memories. She's like, "I don't really remember how you got me my favorite DS."
Well, I don't. Do you remember?
Okay, here's the thing. I can tell you why we don't remember is because we put together a combined effort with ourselves, my aunt's kids, and her husband to get her the identical DS, which she was like, there's no way we're going to get it. They were just like it was not a good time for them financially to get it. And so probably the coolest thing about that whole time when that came out was my cousin sent me a video of my aunt going to open the pantry to just, get some cereal or whatever. And there's the Animal Crossing DS, and she just started crying immediately. Like, she was so excited because she thought that oh, Jen's going to get way ahead of me. But no, they both got the system at almost the exact same time and were able to play together. And it was really, really a cool thing. And I mean, that game all of our kids ended up with 3DSs. All of them but one ended up with a copy of Animal Crossing. Like, we play a lot of Animal Crossing in this household. And so we can't wait for the next one.
I know.
We can't wait. But I mean, we've been doing this trip for how many years?
I think like 7, maybe
6, 7 years. And I mean, is New Leaf that old?
Well, I remember, because I think it was our first time coming because it was in August that time, and they had the 4th of July, the fireworks. It wasn't 4th of July because that was in July. Yeah. But it was a fireworks show, and you had fortune cookies, and you could get all the unique, rare things. And I had to play it on the way home from vacation because I was afraid I was going to miss it.
That's right. I think that was the first year. So yeah, we've been playing that series forever.
Yep.
Even Amiibo Festival. Let's get the honest answer. Do you like Amiibo Festival?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
I do.
She's the only person on this earth that likes that game. What do you like about it?
I liked it. I think it was cute. You know what I really like, though, is the Animal Crossing world on Mario Kart.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Mario Kart 8, that DLC was the best. And see, full circle back to Mario Kart. You guys understand why I married this girl, right? It's all because of Mario Kart.
That's where it all started, baby.
That's right. So now we just wait for Animal Crossing. When Animal Crossing on the Switch comes out,
I'll have my own Switch.
She will start streaming. That's all we're waiting for. We're waiting for that game. If we had the capabilities of streaming New Leaf, she would probably be doing that right now. But once the Animal Crossing on Switch is out, she will be streaming that on Twitch. For right now, though, why don't you tell everybody what you do? Kind of just talk about your website real quick and all the fun stuff you make, and then we'll put a bow on this thing.
Okay. So I enjoy making jewelry, and I've been doing that now for a little while. I sell it on my website, therusticbox.com, and I'm trying to be better about blogging and want to start doing more tutorials on teaching how to crochet and just other fun. So I got some DIY projects I want to do, and he gets to help me, so that's exciting. No. Yeah. So that'll be fun. Anyway, I don't know. I have a lot of things I enjoy, and so I have a hard time sticking to one thing. I move around a lot. So, I don't know.
Instagram's The Rustic Box.
Instagram, The Rustic Box. Another big thing I'm just passionate about is helping other people that also want to do the same thing and getting their exposure to them as well. So, I don't know.
All right. Well, therusticbox.com if you guys want to see some of her handmade jewelry. And do you have a Twitter? At N64Jen.
Yep.
You have any other Twitters?
I think the Rustic Box has one, but
okay.
I'm not very good about going on Twitter.
She's not real hip.
N64Jen even has a Instagram, but I'm not very active on that
She has
either.
one post, I
think. But Nintendo someday will fulfill
your dream of Animal Crossing on the Switch. Yeah.
I believe in them.
I do too. All right. Well, guys, this has been episode 113 of the Nintendo Powercast. You can follow me on Twitter at N64Josh. You can follow this show at NPowercast. Remember, if you want to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. The gaming chair I'm usually sitting in is from OP Seat. You can go to n64josh.com/OP Seat. There you will automatically save $10 at checkout, and all their chairs are $50 off right now, so make sure to check that out. And if you end up getting one, tag me in a picture on Twitter. Like, I want to see which color you got and everything. I get notifications when you guys do order them through that link, so make sure to tag me, because that's it's cool. It's really cool. My gamer's guide to I can't remember the exact name. I have the name down now. It's not in front of me, but basically the guide to podcasting, starting your own podcast, getting your own content off the ground is it's looking like mid-August is going to be the release date. So be on the lookout for that. And I am still working on another castle. But after listening to that book, Bird by Bird, I'm going to finish the entire first draft, and then I'm probably going to rewrite the entire thing, because I really... It's just a process. It's a process, but I'm loving it. So it'll be worth it. I promise. Just be patient with me. That's it. This is the show. Remember, check out n64josh.com for your Nintendo news, and we'll see you in the next episode.